people assume that supplements, the capsules, powders, gummies we buy every day are regulated, tested, verified and checked before they reach your hands. I'm here to tell you something quite uncomfortable. They're not. Once you understand how this industry actually works, you'll realise the warnings on the packet, speak to a healthcare professional, do not exceed the dose, are almost meaningless because no one can guarantee what's actually inside the capsule. No mandatory testing, no mandatory verification. We've been conditioned to believe supplements are safe because they're everywhere. Supermarkets, Amazon, high street shops, you name it, they're there. Here's the truth. There's no legal requirement for a seller to verify GMP certification, quality certification, third-party testing, certificates of authenticity, lab results, ingredient purity, contaminant levels, heavy metals, or macrobial safety. None of it. A seller can sell a supplement without ever seeing a single piece of documentation from the manufacturer. Let's just talk about Amazon for a second. The biggest supplement marketplace in the entire United Kingdom. Amazon does not require sellers to prove GMP certification, any testing, prove the purity or the safety of the product, unless someone complains. And even then, Amazon often asks the seller to provide documents that Amazon is unlikely to verify for authenticity. So a seller can upload a stock logo GMP logo, a made-up third-party testing badge, a certificate of authenticity, a COA from a different batch, or a certificate from a completely different factory. And the system just accepts it. Logos are no more proof than I am sitting here telling you that I'm real, because how do you know that I'm not an AI? The moral responsibility gap is huge. Here's where it gets really dark. Most Amazon supplement sellers never visit the factory or see a production line, visit the raw materials, check the lab, confirm the COA, confirm the GMP certificate is actually real. They rely entirely on whatever the supplier, often is overseas, actually tells them. And because testing costs money and profit margins are tight, especially these days, the incentive is simple. Trust the supplier. Sell the product. Let's hope no one asks any awkward questions. Now, think about the warnings on the packet. Speak to a healthcare professional. Do not exceed the recommended dose. These warnings assume the product is actually real, accurately dosed, free from any contaminants, and manufactured in a safe way. But if the seller has never seen a COA, if nobody has verified the batch, if the GMP logo is just a graphic, then what exactly is the healthcare professional advising you on? A capsule whose contents no one really knows or has ever been verified. I'm not saying that every supplement is dangerous, of course not. I'm not saying every seller is dishonest, that's ridiculous. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When no one verifies the supply chain, contamination can become a real possibility. It's not guaranteed, it's not inevitable, but it is possible. And that possibility exists because the system just allows it to happen. A system where testing is optional, verification is optional, documentation is optional, transparency is optional, and consumers are left to trust labels that may not mean anything. This isn't about fear, it's not about panic, it's about awareness. Because once you understand how the supplement industry actually works, you can make informed decisions. And that's why this channel exists. It's not to scare you, but to shine a light on the parts of the industry no one really ever talks about. If you take supplements, you deserve transparency, you deserve honesty, you deserve to know what you're putting into your body. And right now, the system just isn't giving you that. Transparency is not, in my view, optional. If you want more investigations like this, real talk, real facts, with no hype, just hit the subscribe button, because the supplement industry is not going to regulate itself. Together, we can at least understand it. And I look at all these things and examine them very, very closely, so you don't have to do that. To summarize, you need to see not only a GMP certification proof, but also third-party testing proof with a COA, a Certificate of Authenticity. I will do that for you, but I will take these supplements one by one and then find out which ones are actually authentic and which ones are not. See you next time.